Hello, welcome to AI in Action. My name is Maurie. I'm here with my husband, Jim. We have been absent for a couple of weeks, and I'm still dressed comfy in my very favorite Mojo's coffee sweatshirt. We went to the TCEA conference, had a great time, brought back a lot of information, but we also brought back COVID.
12 days.
I would like to say you're the one that brought it back first.
I'm the one who showed symptoms first.
Yes.
It's not the same thing. I think the lady that sneezed on the elevator is the one that gave it to us.
So anyway, we have been out with COVID, and honestly, it was one of those things where after a few days, we felt okay, but it was the cough.
Well, you're not coughing as much as I am.
If he starts coughing, I'm going to have to step away. Pause.
I'm going to step away.
It's just, that's one of the things that's been hanging on. But let's talk about the TCEA conference. I thought it was really good. It was in San Antonio. We presented a couple of times. And we presented a little bit more about IT and how to bring artificial intelligence into an IT department. Mainly, it was kind of when artificial intelligence comes into your department, you need to treat it like any other IT management situation.
Yes.
It's just a technology. It's not something that you're going to have to really change a lot of what you already do, because what you already do is basic IT 101.
Yeah, you have to create user accounts. You have to manage user accounts. You have to, get rid of user accounts. You have a whole end of life thing. You have to decide which policies apply to the user. When it comes to AI, the only thing that's somewhat different, which there's actually things that are becoming even more different, but the things that are somewhat different have to do with, for example, I guess it's the same. You don't want to give it to students.
Right.
Necessarily.
And if you do, you want to make sure that what they're getting has all of the safety and the guardrails and has all of the terms and the conditions. And when we always look at policies, we always look at the company that we're purchasing for them. Yeah. We always look at, what happens if they get, their data leaks, what's going to happen to that data? What kind of data do they need? And backing stuff up and recovering stuff if it crashes. I mean, it's all the basic stuff of an IT department. And when you bring in something that has artificial intelligence in it, there's not a lot of difference when it comes to just the management side. Now, the training side.
Well, there is. It also depends on how you bring it in. I mean, if you're just going to turn it on in Google Workspace and call it a day, then it's exactly the same as everything. I mean, Google just put it into everything. In Google Workspace, you have to go in and decide whether or not you're going to let, what age group gets to see it and all that other stuff. If you're going to bring it in through Microsoft Copilot, which they're determined we're going to do, then again, it's the same kind of thing. If you're going to do like we did, which is bring it in with a separate tool, again, still an IT type process, but we brought it in, which is what Agnes is, using an open source tool. And we did that because I don't want to just use Microsoft or just use Google or just use Anthropic.
Options are always important.
Because each one has different skills.
And each one has different cost. And
they definitely do.
I will say it 100 times. What we have done at our department, at our school system, has saved so much money for the district. We have currently 140 users, and our monthly cost is negligible, less than $10 a month. And it's the gym membership program. I do see more and more people using it, but they're still using their personal ones, which we're really trying to educate them about not doing that for school-related functions, school-related information. Keep personal. Use the school-offered one for the stuff that you do at the school. But the other thing that we did, and I'm going to admit to our audience that it was my fault. The first time we presented, it was 100% technology director type people, IT management people. We did not have a lot of educators in the room because we specifically were talking about IT department stuff. Yeah. And several of them we were presenting again the next day, and we were going to go a little deeper, a little more in depth about the tools that you have used to put everything together for our Agnes. Yep. Or our AI gateway, as we like to call it. They were all like, we really want to know. We really want to know the technical. We really do. So we got back to the hotel room, and I told you, I said, Jim, we're going to completely redo the presentation.
Which you've been giving me a hard time for doing that for like 3 years. The lady on the train, that kind of stuff.
And now turnabout's fair play. But I would like to say that I redid the presentation. So both times I'm the one that had to redo the presentation.
Yeah, but I did
One
help.
time was your idea. The next time was my idea. So
I did have to help.
But we went really technical. And so the next day, I do believe we had some, smoke coming out of the ears when it came to and some eyes
You
rolling
did tell
back
me
in their
that there was
heads.
no bottom. Go to the deep dive.
Go to the deep dive. I said, let's, there's an AI term for you. We are going to unpack this. We are going to dive deep.
I did.
And you did. And I think that a lot of people in the audience was like, holy crud, this person is
well,
crazy. I think
unfortunately, it makes it sound more complex than it is. Sometimes it's harder to describe something to do something than to do something. And what I was afraid of is that I made it sound more complex than it actually is. Now, that being said, if you don't know what a Docker container is, if you don't know what Docker management tools are, if you don't know, what Open Web UI is and the various other tools we use, if you've never heard of them, but mainly if you've never heard of Docker, then it's going to sound a lot more complex than it is. But in reality, we're also offering more than just Agnes. Agnes, at a root level, is a chatbot. And it looks just like OpenAI, ChatGPT. But we also offer speech-to-text services, text-to-speech, translation services separately. Mm-hmm. They can be used as part of that tool, but they're also separate. That makes it sound more complex too.
Right. It's because you decided to do it as a toolbox and not just as a single tool.
We called it originally an AI toolbox. Now we're really calling it an AI gateway.
And the reason I like the word gateway is because it actually does give you access to multiple different large language models.
And we have budgeting tools that we've put in place. You don't have to do everything we did. That's the whole point. You can do the pieces that make sense to you. The main thing is that, especially at the front end, which you mentioned a second ago, you're going to have people that are going to sign up, they're going to kick the tires, and then they're not going to use it. The companies that offer these tools depend on that. Mm-hmm. They depend on the ones that offer the wrappers around the large models. They depend on the fact that you're going to have 100 teachers sign up and 12 are going to use it. So those 12 could be fairly heavy users, but they're going to make money because they have to spend money generating those tokens that is what the language models do. So they're going to spend enough money to equip 100 teachers and only 12 use it. That is a waste of money.
Correct.
So the way we did it also gave us good onboarding time. We have 140 people, but we started out with 6.
Right.
That we recruited ourselves as a grassroots effort. And of the 140, not all of them are using it. Some of them are, some aren't. Like you said, they're using personal tools too. So we're not paying for that. We're paying for it as we use it. And in this case, that's a better model.
I think
and we have a budgeting tool in place.
Any district, small district, any
small to medium size, absolutely.
Size business, anyone.
It doesn't have to be.
Really need to get something like what we have, and they need to call you and get you to help them, because I bet you would. Maybe for a small fee, but I bet you.
Well, I would like to retire at some point.
One of these days,
and I'd like to do that.
Let's keep talking about what we did.
Because I can't talk much longer because I'm going to have a coughing attack. So I think we should talk about the conference, but I think I'm going to let you drive.
I get to drive? Okay, so hang on. AI in Action is Jim's core dump for half an hour. But
I just did mine. I did 8 minutes worth of core dump.
Oh, wow. And
that was it.
I have to talk and fill the rest of the time?
I'll throw in a little bit.
This is going to be a really short podcast.
It's going to be drinking water.
So the other things that we got to do while we were there, I was invited to and went to a women's meeting, a women in ed tech. And it was a lot of really great women in the room that I
wasn't one was
able. No, you were not. I left you at the hotel.
You did.
There were some in there that came along. It was, good food, good conversation. I really enjoyed it. There was a thing there called Ever Free that is basically, it's a nonprofit for human trafficking that they're educating and helping human trafficking stuff.
Because unfortunately, educators may see evidence of it.
They see it a lot.
That's disgusting.
They see it a lot. And they also, Texas, in the United States, Texas has the highest number of people that are part of the trafficking situation.
I would think anywhere from Texas all the way to California, because
California's probably number 2.
I'm assuming they're coming in through Mexico, but I don't know.
Well, They're coming in through Mexico, and
They're getting trafficked here. They could be born in the United States and still get trafficked.
That's the situation we ran into as a teacher.
I don't want to go off of the traffic thing. It's disgusting.
But that was something that, well, it is disgusting, but you also have to have education about it. So make sure that you're educated and make sure that you know what's going on in the community around you is what I'd like to say. So the other thing that we did is BenQ.
I love it when you get all passionate about subjects.
Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It's horrible.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. BenQ North America Education Department, Education Division, I should say, they invited me to do a couple of book signings in their booth, and I had a lot of fun. I
took pictures. Did you post them?
Yeah, I posted some. I sold a few books, which was great, but the main thing is that I got to talk to some really interesting people, and I really enjoy talking to teachers and having that connection through their classroom stories versus the stories that I collected. I am working on volume 2. I do have some more stories that have been sent to me that easily could fill up another book. And of course, I'll ask that question, could AI have helped in this situation? The other thing that I found myself doing, though, is I found myself selling BenQ products while I was talking.
Well, we always tell people, I'm either your best customer or your worst. There's no in between. And remember how much I don't like interactive boards. Yes. I've always been opposed to them. And not because I don't like their features, but because they're typically very hard to manage, all that other stuff. Norma is very patient with me. We have known
her for 20 plus years.
I was one of her first customers. I was going to say favorite, but that's probably not true. But definitely one of her first people she ever visited when she started selling. And she understands that pressure sales don't work on me. She's got to show me. She knows what I care about. I care about the IT parts. How do I get this thing in here? How do I manage it? How do I make sure the right people are using it? What do I deal with? It's a life cycle problem. And she knows that that's important to me because, I run an IT department. And so she soft sold it. And I like their board. And we tested multiple boards, and theirs was the only one that didn't have a particular bug in it. I call it a bug. Maybe the vendor didn't, but we're using, tablets to cast to them. And there's a resolution mapping problem between some of those tablets because we have a very high resolution Samsung tablet. And there's a mapping issue that some can't deal with.
Right.
And theirs could. Plus, their management tool is really easy to use.
Well, I found myself explaining that to several school districts who came to the booth.
And you know what? You've spent a lot of time on this. So
I was telling them, I was like, if you make that sell, I think I need to get a little bit of cut.
Absolutely.
But, they had me there in their booth, and I was getting to talk about teachers have bigger fish to fry. So that was great. The other thing that we did is we were asked to be on a panel discussion for the human intelligence movement.
Did they give out some of your books too?
Yes. And so did BenQ.
That's what I meant. BenQ did, right?
BenQ gave out some of the books, like they raffled them off.
Yeah.
And then learning.com also, they took a few of the books and they gave them out too. But so learning.com in conjunction with the human intelligence movement had us on a panel talking about AI and the human element of artificial intelligence.
What did I say before it started? About 4 people are going to show up.
It was the very last day.
It was the last hour of the last day. I really thought I was going to be right.
25 people.
Thought I was going to be right this time.
So, and a lot of people were like this. We were the last session of the last day.
We were. The building was emptying. All that was left was the awards or whatever they were giving out. But like 20 people showed.
And it ended up being a good conversation.
One of them had actually been. I recognized him. He waved at me when he came in. He had been in our sessions.
Well, there was one of them that came in and had dinner with. They were at the dinner because one of the things that you do when you go to conventions or conferences is it gives you an opportunity to actually meet people in real life, people that you connect with through email, people that you talk on the phone with. And so when you go to these conventions, it's a way to actually sit down and have a dinner with somebody.
Well, and in my case, honestly, I go there mostly because I need to meet with vendors. We're in Llano. We're an hour and a half from Austin, but people don't want to come out here.
No,
Norma's one of the few that does. And because of that, I need to meet with them. And sometimes those social gatherings after hours are the best time to do that.
Right. And we're always invited to several. And so
we don't walk to the farthest one away if you go to one.
That was a long one, but it was still a good one.
It was good.
Okay. So there was one that we went to.
Yeah,
that was
GTS, right?
GTS, which actually stands for Give Through Service. They
Is that what
are
that stands for?
Give Through Service. They are a company that sells a lot into
We buy a lot of
K-12,
Dell stuff
a lot
from
of Dell stuff from them. And they had a get together, and so we went to the little
It
get
was a
together.
happy hour. It's not. I mean,
Okay, it was a happy
it
hour.
wasn't that big,
So you go in. Hey, they give me 2 free drink tickets.
which you did not
They
use,
give you 2 free drink
which
tickets.
we end up giving away.
I use 1 drink ticket,
Me too.
and then we give 3 of them away.
Well, no, I got a Coke. No, they didn't use a drink ticket for a
No,
Coke.
it didn't use a drink ticket.
But who served you your
Long story
drink?
short,
Too late for that. Who served your drink? Oh,
that was me hitting him. If you're not watching the video, a girl came up and said, "May I take your drink order?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I would love a margarita." And she was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she walked away. And when she walked away, I'm like, "Okay, I think I know her. I think I know her." And I'm not going to say names, of course, because she was one of my students. Came back and she was like, "Here you go, Miss Beasley. Here's your drink." And as soon as she said my name, Miss Beasley, I put it into context, and I was
Yes.
like, "Oh my gosh, I taught this girl in junior high school, and now she's serving me alcoholic beverages." But I'm very, very proud of her. She is a senior at UT San Antonio, finishing her
Nursing.
RN.
yeah, she's gonna be a
So
nurse.
she's going to be a nurse, and I'm sitting here thinking, "Oh my God, I taught her in junior high. My baby grew up, and she's got to get a
Felt
degree,
good.
and she's successful, and she's so that's why teachers teach right there, is because they love seeing, when they recognize you and they remember your name and they give you a hug and they serve you a margarita, you're successful.
Is that what that is? Is that how that works? I didn't know that's how that worked. We went to an Intel. Intel invited us to one as well, which was nice. We went to that just briefly.
Class
we
Link.
walked-
Love Class
Class
Link.
Link was the day before. That was crowded.
That was very crowded.
And they ran out
And
of
that's where we
food.
sat with the person who came to the very last session. He
Is that
was our
what-
dinner partner that evening.
These are very friendly people.
Very nice.
I can't remember what school they were
They
from.
were from La Vega.
La Vega.
La
I still
Vega.
don't know what school that is.
Yeah, La Vega area.
They were very nice. It was very crowded. They ran out of food. We had to wait on another
That's
round of
okay.
food to bring
We
out.
enjoyed the visit.
But we enjoyed the conversation. And we walked by a table and somebody went, like 5 people went, "They're the Beasleys." And we're like, "Oh,
What have we done now?
Anyway, it was a good thing.
Okay, so the other thing that got me, and I know that we're not giving you guys a lot of information about AI right now. We'll tell you a little bit at the very end about AI. I had 3 or 4 people say they listened to our podcast, like just
Yes.
random people. "Oh yeah, I listened to y'all's podcast," and I'm like,
noticed
"Oh
that.
crap, we need to start taking this a little more seriously."
Probably not.
Yeah, well,
But then we went from the Intel one. That's when we went to the GTS one. And then we walked, made another.
a really long.
It was a long walk. And we're in San Antonio and the streets were kind of empty back. And I was like, "Oh, this may be not a good idea."
You might be using some of your keto tonight.
No, just running. I can run faster than you do. But we did make it to the BenQ and they had pizza.
Yes.
And then they
That's
had
nice.
some kind of food everybody that took a bite of it almost
It
died.
was so hot. It was like
hot.
a garlic bread, and it was really, really
I
hot.
took a bite of
Got
that.
to meet some really nice people. Oh my God, where were they from?
That was a whole group.
A whole group
From the
I'm
same
trying to
school
remember where
district.
They were from. They were really friendly.
Yeah.
And then our good friend Amy Mayer, she met us there.
Yeah,
we
she
got
gave us
to
a
sit
ride
with
back to the
her for a
hotel.
while. Her and her husband gave us a ride back to the hotel because we didn't want to. We were going to Uber. At that point, I'm like, we are Ubering back to the hotel.
Yes.
Because that's when streets of San Antonio, we were not in the main.
We just
travel
didn't
areas.
know the area. I mean, maybe it's a perfectly safe area, but we don't know that because we're not from San Antonio.
Yeah.
But Amy I enjoyed visiting with her.
I did too.
And the people at our table were very friendly.
Mhm.
And I thought they were going to finally throw us out of the restaurant because we stayed there for so long
You know,
visiting.
To me, that is a very big testament of the conversation that you're having.
Yeah. And
It's awesome.
BenQ people came by and they were very friendly and they talked to us for a while. We went back to the hotel and completely crashed because we were so
You're
tired.
getting too old for this shit.
Language.
Sorry. It's true. I mean, I just sometimes I'm just like, why are we still talking about artificial intelligence? Jim,
All right.
give it up.
You tell me that we're not too old to talk about this stuff.
I'm
because
feeling a little old.
you were only feeling old because guess what? I didn't realize that somebody had already sneezed on me
COVID.
and I was starting to, I felt a little bad that night, but I thought I was just tired.
The one thing I'm very proud about is the fact that on Wednesday morning when you woke up and you said, "I'm not really feeling good," And then we went ahead and did what we needed to get done. And then we left, and you were like, I'm really not feeling good. The first thing I thought is, we're not going to go see our grandbabies.
I'm glad we didn't.
So
because we didn't.
abandoned the dogs and left the dogs at our
At
daughter's
Rachel's
house, and we just came straight home.
Well, I thought it was allergies because a front had blown in. There was so much pollen in the air. I just assumed I had allergy reaction because I have a mild asthma. Anyway, AI stuff.
All right. So
there was
what
a
has
lot.
OpenAI done?
Well, but before we end the TCA, I hope everybody that's listening that will go to that if you're an educator. There wasn't as many people there this year, I don't think.
I don't think so.
I really enjoy that conference. The people that put it on are so friendly.
Awesome people.
They work so hard. And I mean, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
The only downside, I like the San Antonio thing because there's so much, it's easier to park and there's so many restaurants and stuff, but it's expensive.
It is.
And
I mean, the hotels and the parking and everything else that you have to do.
The food and everything is, I didn't think it was more expensive in Austin. I didn't think it would be more expensive than Austin, but I think it is. Or maybe that's just the time. Maybe it's not more expensive than Austin.
I think it's just the economy that we currently live in.
That could be true. But anyway, if you can go to that thing, go. Yes. I mean, they put a lot of effort into it. There was a lot of AI sessions. I went to some sessions. I didn't go to as many as you did.
Okay, so
but
let's talk about AI.
Let's not talk about the lawyer thing again.
Okay, so I'm not going to... If you are looking for information about artificial intelligence,
ask us.
Ask us. There was a lot of misinformation.
Yes.
It wasn't intentional misinformation. It was information that was just collected in the incorrect fashions.
You know what? What I was the most pleased about is I sat in the sessions and didn't correct anybody.
Very proud of you.
I know. Amy,
nice.
Amy used to tell me, I always told Amy I was going to heckle her if she got anything wrong in her session.
Which is why she kind of uninvited us to most of her sessions.
That's right.
But no, seriously, there was a lot of information that was given out. And I say a lot. I can think of 3 incidences in the 7 sessions I went to. And I didn't just go to AI sessions. I went to some things about Google admin.
And I went to one about N8N.
N8N, so went to these different sessions. But Texas does not have a law about AI in education. They don't. They have some guidances, but they don't even have any guidances yet.
The only reason that one bothered you was because it was a legal advice.
It was legal advice about a law that had just passed about education.
That doesn't apply
that
to.
Doesn't have not one word about education in it.
It's not a K-12 thing.
It's not a K-12.
Yeah.
And so it irritated me just a little bit.
Check your sources.
Check your sources. There was a lady who had posted just recently about somebody who'd gotten sued and won $100,000 because of FERPA violations at a private school in AI. I cannot find any evidence of that happening.
It's made up.
So, and today I was on LinkedIn and there was a person who had commented about how their feelings were really hurt because somebody had commented about their newsletter, that the newsletter was AI generated and they were going to unsubscribe. And I know the person personally, and he's written several books way before AI was out there. And he guarantees that his newsletter is written by himself because he is a writer. That's
Again,
what he does.
I think it's the wrong thing.
Well, not just that, but right before I read that, Ethan Mollick had posted about AIs making comments now. Now that you have all the agentic stuff, and even before that, you have bots.
The agents are worse.
The agents are worse,
yeah.
But they will make comments on posts to try to up their likes and their dislikes, and just
try to generate controversy. So you can generate. That's really sad.
And so my comment back to the person was, first of all, if they did unsubscribe, then good riddance because their attitude was not good. And second of all, it was possibly not even a human that commented.
Well, I know you had that problem. There was one person that commented on yours very negatively. Mm-hmm. And normally I stay away from commenting on your LinkedIn stuff because I'm your husband and obviously I'm biased.
But you're my knight in shining armor, Jim.
But no. But anyway, this comment just irritated me. So I not only commented back, but I asked specific questions. Mm-hmm. And not only did they not answer mine, but then they just commented on somebody else's. It was a bot. It was not a person. I think the problem, I'm going to go, do I have enough time? I'm going to go conspiratorial here for a minute.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk conspiracy.
Let's say for a new technology is invented, and that technology is pretty miraculous, but it needs more work, means more development, which most do, in order for it to be even better. But you're a country that is not in the United, you're another country and you're against the United States, and you want to basically slow down development in that country.
Mm-hmm.
What better way to do it than to have lots and lots and lots of bots that are
Keeping the churn going.
that are churning people up to keep them fearful of the technology, which slows you down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening with China and Russia and people, but it's already well-known fact that they try to manipulate our news media. If we developed this technology, and we did, this is technology we developed, and we slow down, and I'm not saying we shouldn't slow down in some areas, we've talked about this before, but if we have so many people that become opposed to it, they're not having that problem there. They are full steam ahead.
Yes, they are.
And we could literally fall behind because we're allowing somebody else to manipulate our logic and reasoning instead of looking at its flaws, accepting what they are. There are places that it has no business being, and I agree with that. Right. And there are instances where they're ingesting private information that they shouldn't be, and they should be paying authors. I get all that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a really good tool for helping us ingest all this medical information that we have to get better medical research, to get better scientific, there's lots of different scientific areas that it can help us explore and eliminate some areas that maybe aren't necessary to go down, some paths and stuff. So instead of fearing it, why don't we just fix what we don't like about it?
Well, you and I were having a conversation earlier.
And stop letting other people decide for us.
We will end on this because you and I were having this conversation earlier. We were talking about how there are so many people that are in the AI space, the big companies that are extremely intelligent, and they are extremely well versed in artificial intelligence.
Like Google.
They have been part of the AI scene well before
they invented it.
Large language models.
They invented it.
The original 1950 type stuff,
Yes, IBM.
And then you have that one or two people who think that they all of a sudden know
everything that's wrong about it.
Yeah.
And they go to everybody that's just trying to share information, and they start going on and on about how, this is going to end the world and all. And if you believe that's true, if you believe it's that bad, then posting negative stuff all over people's threads, is that really the answer?
Right.
If the technology has needed a better user interface since it was created. The user interface of sitting there with your phone and your neck bent over or typing in front of a computer to give yourself tennis elbow.
Call my sagging neckline old age anymore. You know what they call it now?
I have no idea.
Tech neck. Because you're looking at your phone all the time.
Seriously?
Your head's down. Yes, they call it the tech neck. The people who are getting premature.
Do we have to have a label for everything?
That's what they're calling it.
Well, I can tell you,
it's not my turkey walk.
I can tell you if you type too much, you can give yourself tennis elbow. My point is that this is the first time we have the potential to develop a truly human interacting paradigm with technology that actually makes sense.
We can move technology to the outsides instead of being in the center.
That the potential is there, but if we kill it because we're afraid of it.
Well, we're not going to kill it.
Well, no, the big companies, Google's not going to stop using something they've already been using. They were using AI stuff long before they invented large language models. We know this. We've known this for a long time. One piece of news before we go, because we're running out of time. The one thing I mentioned at the very beginning, that there is one thing that's changing a lot, things that are going on with AI and how you interact with it. If you haven't heard about it, first it was called Clawbot, then Moltbot, and then OpenClaw, and I think it's called OpenClaw now. Anyway,
it was open source.
It is an open source tool that used Claude at the back end, which is why they called it Clawbot to start with. But it's an agent. So many people started Agentic. It's a tool that allows you to spin up agents. Agents that can go off. An agent is a language model with tools.
It's something that can go off and do things on
so
its
it can
own.
go off. It can check your email, answer your emails. It's a scary piece of technology, but it's incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
This paradigm, this agentic paradigm, really, really comes to fruition in tools like that. That being said, people better figure out how to make it a lot safer, because do you really want an AI that can make decisions for you independent of you? I haven't loaded it.
I'm
not
not
going to
there
use
yet.
it.
I'm not there yet.
But 100,000 stars on GitHub, which is the fastest growing
That was the
tool
last
ever.
time we looked.
They sold out of Mac Minis, which is the first platform people ran it on in San Francisco.
Yeah.
They sold out in San Francisco.
All of the Apple stores were out of them.
And so people were taking this agentic tool. They're so desperate for a better way to interact with technology. They're willing to take this incredibly risky tool and use it to help them keep from drowning in information.
Giving it access to their bank accounts, giving it access to their emails, to the personal calendars. I
don't know about bank accounts, but I bet somebody was.
I bet they were.
I know they were doing emails and stuff. It goes to show you that people are drowning in information, a lot of which is useless. I mean, think about emails. Noise. Think about all the emails we get every day that are complete junk.
It's ridiculous.
So these kinds of tools have a huge amount of potential to do great good. But anyway, the guy that wrote it, the tool's only been out maybe a month.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote it just got hired by OpenAI.
Yeah.
They didn't buy his company. They just hired him.
There was
no company to buy.
It was open source.
This kind of tool, these agentic kind of tools, they're coming like a freight train, and they are incredibly powerful. I'm just now really starting to use them, and I could tell you they've been. At the end of last year, I said that 2025, actually at the end of 2024, I said you're going to start hearing about agents in 2025, and you did. Mm-hmm. But they really are going to hit their stride this year. They really are.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for listening in. I promise that the next time we have the podcast, Jim won't be as hoarse.
Yeah.
I won't have on my comfy sweatshirt. And we'll talk a little bit more about artificial intelligence and not just all of the fun things that we got to do at the TCEA conference. So my name is Maurie. This is my husband, Jim. We hope that you guys have a marvelous rest of the week.